Hello everybody, Eric Apricot here. The Warriors pull out a wild one against the Kings. Down the stretch, the Sacramento Kings were blitzing Steph Curry on defense, so the story of the Warriors offense was trying to find ways to counter the blitz. This is your basic high pick and roll. Gary Payton II coming to set a screen for Steph. You might say, why in the world is Gary Payton II setting screen? It's because he's being guarded by Sabonis. The Warriors would ideally like to force Sabonis to switch to Steph because then Steph can run around Sabonis. GP2 does make solid contact on Steph's defender, which means that Sabonis is forced to cover Steph, but the Kings are not going to leave Sabonis by himself on Steph. Steph's original defender is just going to stay with him. So now that Steph is drawn 2 on the ball, releases the ball quickly to GP2 on this short roll, and now GP2 has to take advantage of this 4-on-3 situation. But GP2 doesn't have a lot of experience doing that. He doesn't attack quickly enough to keep this a 4-on-3, and he lets Sabonis hustle his way back into the play. So when the ball gets fed to the post like this, there's always going to be a split cut. When there are 3 men in a split cut, one man is always the screener, one man pops out, and one man dives towards the basket. And because it's not pre-planned, they have to watch each other to see who's going to pop and who's going to dive. Steph dives to the basket. This is a good idea because he can use Klay as a passive screen against his defender, which means that Sabonis has to rotate to pick up Steph. Steph's defender follows Steph because no one ever got fired for following Steph Curry. Herder's guarding Klay. Nobody is guarding GP2 because his defender had to help on Steph. Unfortunately, both Barnes and Sabonis head towards GP2, which means Draymond is free to cut open to the basket. Klay makes a good quick read, big bucket. A couple plays later, similar high pick and roll. Gary Payton II setting the screen, bringing Sabonis into the play. We've seen this movie before. GP2 slips the screen immediately. Sabonis has to stay here to contain Steph. Steph's defender trails. Now we have 2 on the ball. Steph dribbles up a little bit to get a better passing angle. There we go. Nice straight passing angle here. GP2 is looking to Draymond. Harrison Barnes does a nice job on defense, staying close enough to the passing lane. Now Sabonis gets back into the play. Barnes can recover to Draymond. The defense is back in balance. I think everyone expects GP2 to have to reset, kind of like last play, because he can't drive by Sabonis. And what's he gonna do? Do some kind of sneak attack surprise floater? That's not his game. Or is it his game? Have we ever seen him shoot this shot before? I guess he had it deep in his bag. After the Warriors get a big stop on defense, Steph is yelling, Chris Paul is yelling, both yelling for Draymond. Chris Paul has a few more years in the league. He has even more advanced attention-getting technology. He brings out, yes, it's the foot stomping technology. Stomp, 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 stomp. Now he brings clapping technology into it. You might ask, why would they need Draymond to come all the way back to inbound the ball? Either one of these guys could have inbounded it to the other one. This is a planned play. Given the Kings' defense all night, they know that Keegan Murray is in permanent underwear inspection mode. So instead, Draymond releases to Chris Paul, and then Steph is going to yell, "You do not have authority over my undergarments." And he suddenly takes off, and he's going to get a little handoff from Chris Paul. Now Murray is trailing him, and Chris Paul is over here acting as an obstacle, which forces another defender to come pick up Steph. We've got shooters in the corners. If this defender is gutsy enough to come up to double team Steph, Draymond will just cut into the open space and get a dunk. Steph is enjoying the rare privilege of being guarded by a single defender. Steph drives left, Monk follows him, Steph with a nice behind the back crossover, and he just gets this to roll in. The Warriors don't call a timeout. Steve Kerr, you'll see him waving people saying, go, 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 just do it. They're trying to attack before the Kings can set up a defense. Draymond steps up, early drag screen. Gary Payton also steps up to set early screen. Keegan Murray backs up, finds himself putting Gary Payton in a headlock. GP2 says, "Great, I want you to switch to me anyway," and he just starts rhino driving into the headlock, and that brings Keegan Murray away by force. Sabonis has to switch to Steph. Harrison Barnes, he immediately goes to blitz Steph. GP2 wisely dives towards the basket. There's no way Steph's going to get this pass across, so he has to dish it off to Draymond. Steph looks like he tries to do a give and go, but he's covered pretty well, and Keegan Murray is ready to cut off the pass. Draymond dribbles towards Chris Paul, probably trying to trigger a dribble handoff. Chris Paul looks like he's waiting for a pass to come to him. So Draymond goes back to his third read. Steph is still trying to cut down the middle here, but that is not looking very open at all. While all this craziness is happening here, Davion Mitchell has been guarding Klay. Klay has been acting uninterested in the proceedings, which, because of his reputation, is kind of believable. But at this moment, Klay decides to spring into action, so he lifts himself up to the wing. Davion Mitchell, you can see a little exclamation go off above his head. He's a step late closing out on Klay, and so Klay instantly counterattacks on this closeout. Good job trying to recover, but you can see he's out of balance. And so now he has to sell out to stop Klay from driving down the middle, and that makes him have to take one step, which gives Klay just enough separation to rise straight up and hit the huge mid-range jumper. Alright, let's wrap up with a quick celebration audit. Right after Klay hits the game winner, Draymond immediately comes over and grabs Klay and starts yelling some inspirational verse at him. We're going to use our advanced lip reading technology to see precisely what he told Klay. Come on, Klay. You know I'm coming to your place. Get pho. Pho. The delicious Vietnamese noodle soup. That is a good choice for a celebration dinner. But Draymond, since Klay hit the game winner, shouldn't you be bringing the pho?